Hi Vinyl community, it's Mike here, and today's video, it's all about football. There you go, it's all about the World Cup, to be specific. Well, not actually all about football, it's about music and football. And this is my response to a thread that's been sadly neglected, I think, so far, but it's from Gordon at I Dig Vinyl, and he's done a World Cup thread. Now, Gordon says he gets really excited about the World Cup, and he's particularly excited about the World Cup this year because Scotland have qualified for the first time since Adam was a lad. Well, in fact, first time since I think 1998. So first time this century, Scotland have qualified for the World Cup finals. But something that hasn't changed is that every time they qualify for the World Cup, they struggle to get out of the group stages, and it looks like they're doing that this time, although I think they might do it. So anyway, the thread itself is quite simple. There are 48 teams in the World Cup finals this year, which is most ever. And all Gordon wants you to do is to show records that originate in the countries of the World Cup. I mean, you don't have to do all 48. I mean, he's not suggesting that. But, you know, just sort of make a thread where every record that you show comes from a country or is associated with a country that are in the World Cup finals. And the World Cup finals, as you know, are being hosted jointly by Mexico, Canada and the United States. And it got underway a couple of weeks ago now. And I don't know about you, but I'm finding it a little bit difficult to become fully sort of engaged with it at the moment because, you know, it's a group stage. So there's 12 groups of 4, 48 teams in all. And, you know, they play 3 games each, and then 32 of the 48 then qualify for the knockout round. So really, you know, most of the teams will actually make it through without any trouble at all. So, you know, and I think from the point of view of England, it really is a bit of a formality. There's a bit of sort of jogging for position, really. You want to finish at the top of your little group and hopefully get a decent draw for the last 32. So anyway, you know, as I say, the idea of the thread is to show records from countries that are in the World Cup finals. And I thought, well, it's a bit easy, really, because, you know, England are in there, Scotland are in there, obviously the USA are in there, Canada are in there, so that Australia, New Zealand, they're also in there. So that covers lots of the countries that we show records from anyway. So I thought I'd make it a little bit more difficult for myself. And for a time, I thought I'd made it a little bit too difficult, but I think I got there in the end. So the way the World Cup runs is that teams qualify from the different federations around the world. So FIFA is split up into, I think, 5 or 6 different federations, and they all have their qualifying tournaments. And then a set number of teams from each of those confederations ends up in the World Cup finals. So I thought I'd have a look at the teams that are in the African Federation. So it's the Confederation of African Football, I think it's called. And there's 10 of them. 10 have qualified. So I've got, you know, 10 albums to show. Well, actually, I'm going to show this one as well because this is from Jamaica, obviously. Scientist wins the World Cup. A great sort of dub album. There's a whole series of these, and they're all fantastic. So I thought, well, what better time to show this album than during the World Cup thread? So there you go. So that's that album. And before I forget, I'd also like to mention another channel. So as I say, Gordon I Dig Vinyl, it's his thread. But the person that persuaded me to do it, really, I saw Martin, the vinyl scavenger, do his World Cup thread the other day, and I thought, yeah, I really must sort of get on and do it. And as I say, not many people have done it so far, so, you know, there's still plenty of time because the World Cup carries on until mid mid-July. I think it's something like 19th of July, the final. So there's still, a good month to go. So, as I say, what I've done is I've chosen records that are associated with the 10 countries that come from the Confederation of African Football. So there are 12 groups of 4 qualifying, and each of the African teams they've been split up. So there's only one African team in any one group. So in 10 of the groups there's one of the African teams. So I thought what I'd do is, rather than just show the records, I'll let you know sort of how these teams are getting on at the moment. So we're very, very nearly at the end of the second round of group matches. So nearly everyone has played 2 matches, and there's a couple here that have only played 1 match so far. So I'll let you know what their results are so far, and how I think they'll progress. So let's start with Group A, and in Group A there's South Africa, and they're up against Mexico, Czech Republic, and South Korea. So I think they're very much the underdogs in this group, and so far they played Mexico in the opening match, and they lost 2-0, and then they've played the Czech Republic, and they drew 1-1. So at the moment they've got 1 point, and they're 4th in the group, and they've got South Korea to play. So that's a must-win match for them if they're going to qualify. And quite honestly, I don't think they will win it. So I think we'll see the back of South Africa after the group stages. So what record have I chosen? And the record I've chosen is this one. It's a bit of Township Jazz. This is a great album. It's on the Ever Reliable Earthworks label. That was very good in the 1980s for international music, particularly music from Africa, and it's called In the Townships, as you can see, and it's by the jazz saxophonist Dudu Pukwana. And yeah, it's a really, really nice album. I bought this album when it came out actually, and I still play it quite a lot. So that's it. So that's the first one. South Africa in Group A, unlikely to qualify for the next round. Right, so there's not an African team in Group B, but in Group C we have Morocco, and this is a little bit of a cheat, a little bit of lateral thinking here to get this one in. But I think there are some Moroccans in this band that I'm going to show. So the team, of course, is Morocco, and Morocco are up against Brazil. They're up against Scotland, and they're up against Haiti. And so far, they played Brazil, and they got a very creditable 1-1 draw. And then in the second round, Morocco played Scotland, and they won 1-0. So they're second in the group at the moment, and I think they'll stay second, because Scotland, who are third, have got to play Brazil in the next round, and I can't really see them getting past Brazil. And if they do, Morocco are playing Haiti, so I think second place. They could even finish first if Scotland really pulls something out of the bag here. But I think they're bound to qualify, and Scotland, it's on a bit of a knife edge, so it's exciting for Scottish fans at the moment. People like Gordon and his mate Jack, and So what have I chosen? I've chosen this, and this is an album. It's on the Bongo Joe label, Les Albani, and as you can see, the album is called Amazigh Freedom Rock, and the Amazigh people are sort of nomadic people. I mean, they're sometimes called Berbers, but they're nomadic people in North Africa. And this band actually originate not in Morocco, but in Algeria. But I think there are some Moroccans in the band, and if there's not, the sort of Berber sort of amazing sort of lands sort of cross over because they're nomadic people. So it's across sort of North Africa, the Northern Sahara, and they cross over into Algeria and Morocco and other countries around there. So there's certainly a Moroccan connection, and this is music that is very much sort of Moroccan, I think, in style, but not North African. So this is kind of like a fusion of things like reggae and rock and synth pop, along with sort of North African rhythms and particularly the sort of guitar based desert blues, of bands like sort of Tanarowin, I suppose. And yeah, this is a really really nice album, and it's a kind of retrospective covering the period 1973 to 1983. So Les Alranis, or that's the album. What does Alranis? Les Albranis. That they're the band, and yeah, they're my representation of for the music of Morocco. Right, Group D. Group D. There's no African teams in Group D, so we pass that by, and so we get into Group E. And Group E is the Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, and they're up against Ecuador, Germany, who are obviously the favourites in this group, and Curacao, who have qualified for the first time ever. So, a tiny country in the Caribbean, and I think they might qualify here because they beat Ecuador 1-0 in their opening match, and then they lost narrowly 2-1 to Germany in their second match, and they've got the underdogs Curacao to play in their third match. So they're second at the moment, and I think they'll almost certainly actually finish in second place, because I think Ecuador will probably will be beaten by Germany. So there you go. So I've gone for somebody. She was born in Cote d'Ivoire to parents from Mali, and she spent a lot of time in Mali before sort of moving to France, to Paris, to pursue her musical career, and it's this lady, and it's Fatoumata Diawara, and she's got a new album out, but there seems to be some sort of distribution problem in the UK, and it hasn't arrived at Jumbo Records where I pre-ordered it, and it should have been out about 2 weeks ago. So I'm a little bit miffed by that, but I can wait. It'll be a brilliant album. So this is her album from 2018, and as you can see, it's called Fenifo, Something to Say. And yeah, it's a really really nice album. It's very much sort of influenced by sort of Malian music. It was recorded in Paris, and yeah, it's a really really nice album. And I was just reading about her the other day, and apparently what happened is that she moved to Paris to pursue a musical career, and her parents lured her back to Mali in order to actually sort of put her into a false marriage. But luckily it didn't happen. She didn't succumb to that. She fled back to Paris apparently, and she's safe and well and continuing to make brilliant music. But yeah, this album is fantastic. So Femfo, the title track, the last one on side one, is absolutely standout. Bonya, another great track, but everything is great. This is joyful music. So much African music is, I think. And so that's Femfo from Fatoumata Diawara, and she was born in the Ivory Coast in Cote d'Ivoire. Right. Now then, I had real trouble with this one. It's Tunisia. And Tunisia are in Group F, and Tunisia are up against Sweden, Japan, and the Netherlands. And quite honestly, I don't think they've got any hope at all of getting out of this group. I think they'll be lucky to get a point because so far they lost 5-1 to Sweden, they lost 4-0 to Japan, and they've got to play the Netherlands in their final match. So, they're going to finish fourth. And I couldn't really find any sort of Tunisian music, and until I came across this, and it's from a CD, one of these excellent sort of rough guide CDs, and this is I'll take the sort of bit out the okay, so you can see it better. So you can see it's called Arabesque, and the first track on this CD is by a band or a person. I think it's one person. They have a band, and it's called Aisha Kandisha's Jarring Effects, and the track is called Amui Amui, and Aisha Kandisha is a mythological figure from North African Tunisian mythology, and apparently she's a beautiful woman, and she appears occasionally to men at remote oases just at twilight, and apparently those who get a glimpse of her are lucky to escape with their lives, and those that do are forever changed by the experience, apparently. So that's that's Tunisia for you. And so Group G, and Group G are a team that are doing very well at the moment, and they're surpassing expectations, I think. And this is Egypt, and Egypt aren't a bad side, quite honestly. And they're playing against Belgium, New Zealand, and Iran, and they got a really excellent 1-1 draw against Belgium in their first match. They beat New Zealand 3-1 in their second match, and New Zealand, I think, are very much the underdogs in this group. And the other team, Iran, are doing kind of okay, but it's been quite a difficult World Cup for them. So I would expect Egypt to at least get a draw out of this. They're top of the group at the moment, and I think they've got a very good chance of actually finishing top. So who have I chosen? Well, I've chosen the brilliant Natasha Atlas, and the Belgian connection as well as an Egyptian connection here, because Natasha Atlas was born in Belgium, and her mother was Belgian and her father was Egyptian, and when she was small she moved to the UK, to Northampton, and she's very much associated with Jar Wobble and Transglobal Underground, and she's done some excellent albums of her own. And this is her debut album, Diaspora. I actually showed it a couple of months ago, I think, and in this album, and you can imagine from the cover there, she's obviously channeling Cleopatra here, isn't she? But there's very much Egyptian rhythms. It's Egyptian music, and it's absolutely lovely. And so that's Egypt, and I'm showing Natasha Atlas to represent Egypt. Right. Group H. Now this is a team that are surpassing all expectations so far. They haven't won a match yet, but it's Cape Verde. I mean, we used to say Cape Verde, but now apparently it's you say Cape Verde, and you can see that's probably the right way to pronounce it, or Cape Verde. And they're as I say, they're in Group H. And they're up against some real heavy hitters here, up against Spain, they're up against Uruguay. and then the other team in the group are Saudi Arabia. And so far, they got a draw against Spain in their first match, and everyone thought, yeah, this is great. That's a really good result for them, but they won't be able to repeat that. And then they went and got a 2-2 draw against Uruguay. So they've got 2 points at the moment. They're third in the table. And really, I think, they've got a good chance of beating Saudi Arabia, or at least getting a draw against them. So I think, they'll probably have a good chance of qualifying as one of the best third place teams. And, they could even, with a win, I think they'd probably finish second in the group, which would be absolutely sort of unsurpassed, really. So I've gone for this, and it was actually a Record Store Day release, because there are occasionally some good records on Record Store Day, and this is called Cabo Verde Show, and it's a really, really lovely album, and it's music for summer. It's lovely sort of music to dance to, very sort of summery kind of music. It's a music that sort of like makes you happy that summer is here. So that's that one, Cabo Verde Show for Cape Verde. Right. Group I. Now, Group I, what have we got? Oh, yes. This is Senegal. And Senegal are up against France, Norway, and Iraq. And they played France in their first match, and they lost 3-1. And I think there's no surprise there, because a lot of people think that France may well win the World Cup, but I think it's going to be England. Then in their second match, they played Norway, and they lost again narrowly, 3-2. So they've got no points so far, but Iraq have also lost both of their matches, so they're actually in third place, and they play Iraq in the final match. So I think if they can get a win against Iraq, there's a chance that Senegal may just progress to the last 32. So who have I gone for? Well, I've gone for somebody. She was born in Senegal, but she was raised in Kuwait, and it's Fatima El Kadiri, and this is a 10-inch EP, and it's called Guma, and it's not really Senegalese music. It's very much sort of Middle Eastern music, music from Kuwait. So it's these Middle Eastern sort of microtonal rhythms, and it's really quite nice. It takes a bit of getting used to, I think, her music. But if you can get tuned into it, because it's a little bit weird, I think, to Western ears. But yeah, if you can get, as I say, tuned to it, it's really, really nice. So that's what Group I. So there's 3 groups to go. So three teams to go. And what have we got? Group J. Group J, yes. Algeria. And Algeria are up against Argentina, another team who are definitely sort of amongst the favourites to lift the cup. Jordan and Austria. And they played Argentina in their first match. They lost 3-0. They played Jordan, who are very much, I think, the underdogs in this group. They played Jordan in match 2, and they won 2-1. So they've got 3 points at the moment. They're in third place, and they've got to play Austria in the final match. And I think they might just do it, but I really don't think they're going to get past Austria. But they could, with a draw, I think they would certainly qualify for the next round. So I've gone for this album, and this is Imahan, and the album's called Abouj, and yeah, the really, I really love this album. There's a Sudanese singer uh, on here, and she's called Salafa Ebras, and she's got an absolutely wonderful voice, and she shares the vocals here. There's male vocals on here as well, and yeah, it's sort of taken up the sort of the Tuareg North African desert blues tradition, but it's not quite as sort of guitar heavy as say a band like Tanaroan. It's more sort of more laid back. It sounds it sounds a little bit more sort of Arabic really, and sort of a bit sort of jazzy as well. I think really, sort of laid back, sort of soulful jazz, and it's it's a really really nice album. This and yeah, this is Imahan, and the album's the Bouge, and they represent Algeria. So only a couple to go now. So who's next? Ah, yes, Group K. Group K is the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Congo DR as they're known, and they're up against Portugal, another one of the favourites. Although Portugal seem to be a bit lacklustre at the moment. Colombia and Uzbekistan, and this group, the final two groups, have only played one match so far, and Congo DR have played the favourites from the group, Portugal, and they drew 1-1, and they're kind of second. They're second equal now in the group, second equal with Portugal. And as I say, they've got Colombia to play, they've got Uzbekistan to play, and I think again there's a good chance that they'll beat Uzbekistan, and I think they might end up as one of the best third place teams, and they could well qualify for the last 32. So I've chosen a couple of albums, an album and a 12-inch single really. And the album, this is a lovely double album, and this is as you say, it's called The World Is Shaking, and it's Cubanismo from the Congo, 1954 to 1955. So Congo's history is that they're a colony, a European colony. I think of Belgium in the 19th century. Then they became Congo as a free country, and then back in the 70s they were called Zaire, and Zaire is where the Rumble in the Jungle took place in, I think, was it about 1974? Muhammad Ali against George Foreman, and it was a heavyweight contest that everybody was talking about. There were songs written about the Rumble in the Jungle as well, but we're not here to talk about boxing. No, we're here to talk about football. So yeah, so this is an album. So this is sort of early early Congolese sort of music, and very much Cubanismo, and this is a fantastic sort of double album, fantastic compilation. But actually, I pulled this out as well, and it's a 12-inch single, and I've got a couple of CDs by this guy as well, and so you've got a guy called Steve Manoit on one side, and then you've got this guy on the other side, double A-sided single, and it's a Tabale Rochereau, and the the single is called Happy Dio, and it's quite a strange record really. Now Tabale Rochereau, as well as being a musician, he was also a politician in Congo DR, and this record, it's very much sort of like African music, but it's more for a sort of a European audience really. So it kind of mixes sort of almost like European disco with with Congolese sort of music, and it's quite interesting. I wouldn't say it's my favourite record of all times, but yeah. But he comes from Congo, so there you go. So he's the man for me. Right, finally, Group L, and everybody knows Group L is the most important group of all. But I'm finding it a bit difficult to get too excited about England at the moment. They're playing tonight. They're playing this team tonight. They're playing Ghana tonight. Or England. England beat Croatia in the first round, and then Ghana played Panama in the first round, and they beat them 1-0. So at the moment, Ghana are second on goal difference to England, with Croatia down at the bottom at the moment because they lost 4-2. But Ghana have got to play England tonight, and really I don't think they have a chance at all. But you never know, It could be famous last words. It could be the shock of the tournament, couldn't it? But I really don't think they're going to do it. And then they play Croatia. And Croatia, I think, are the second best team in the group. I mean, it was, before the competition started, it was, England and Croatia were going to be the top two. And then Ghana, I think, were going to be third. So I think that's what will happen. I think Ghana will finish in third place, and hopefully they'll qualify. And what have I gone for? I've gone for Djemba Groove, and this is Sasuma, the album, and it's fantastic. This is soulful stuff. It's high life. So Guyanese sort of high life, and it's soulful jazz, and it's all sort of mixed together, and it's a very chilled album, and I've absolutely loved this. I mean, I couldn't really pick out any particular tracks for special mention because the whole album just washes over you. It's just absolutely brilliant. I'd recommend Djemba Groove to absolutely anybody. This is absolutely fantastic music. So I think I saved the best till last here. So that's it. So as I say, that's for Golden I Dig Vinyl, and it's a thread that I thought lots of people jump on, and so far, not many people have. As I say, Martin Vinyl Scavenger has jumped on it, and I saw his video and thought, yes, I really must do this. So I'll leave links to both the channels there, and I'll leave a link to Gordon's original video. But that's it really. So that's my World Cup thread, and I thought it's a good opportunity to show you some music that we don't often see in the VC. Let's face it, we don't see a lot of African music. So that's it. So until next time, I'll see you. So bye.